Expected to skyrocket for millions of Americans. We'll discuss this and more. Today's top stories. I'm Frank Billingsley.
And I'm Ernie Manous. We'll also be joined by Chet Garner, host of PBS's The Daytripper. He'll be here to tell us more about his award-winning show and where you and your family could travel during the holiday season.
And I'm Celestia Sherman. Plus, Daniel Ackermann, the director of the Museum of Fine Arts Houston's Bayou Bend Collection and Gardens, will tell us all about Christmas Village at Bayou Bend.
And we want to hear from you. Give us a call or text at 713-440-8870 or email us talk@hellohouston.org. You can also watch us live on YouTube by going to houstonpublicmedia.org.
Hello Houston is made possible in part by founding sponsors John Bradshaw and Kathy Sanders, and by gifts from listeners like you.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Louise Schiavone. Salvadoran national Kilmar Abrego Garcia this morning emerged to a cheering crowd from a scheduled appointment at an ICE field office in Baltimore after a federal judge blocked immigration authorities from re-detaining him. An interpreter for Abrego Garcia translated his message.
I stand before you as a free man, and I want you to remember me this way, with my head held up high.
Simon Sandoval Moschenberg, one of Abrego Garcia's attorneys, told the crowd outside the ICE office.
He's walking out the door and he's heading back to Prince George's County to be with his family, with his child, with his wife who are waiting there for him. Everyone is extremely happy about this.
The case has become a rallying point against Trump administration enforcement actions against illegal immigration. The Department of Housing and Urban Development is investigating Boston for alleged housing discrimination. NPR's Jennifer Ludden reports this is the latest move in a major shakeup of fair housing enforcement.
HUD essentially accuses Boston of discriminating against white people when it comes to buying or renting affordable housing, citing programs that target Black and Latinx families. In a statement, HUD Secretary Scott Turner calls this a, quote, ideological commitment to DEI rather than merit or need. And in a letter to Boston's mayor, the agency says racial preferences are unconstitutional. On its website, Boston says it's made historic progress as it strives to boost affordable housing across the city. In recent months, former HUD civil rights lawyers have accused the agency of violating the law. They say it's interfered in fair housing cases against minorities and others. Jennifer Ludden, NPR News, Washington.
The Pentagon has received a report from the U.S. Navy on Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona. It stems from Kelly and 5 other Democratic lawmakers appearing in a video that reminded members of the military that they must refuse to obey illegal orders. Kelly is a former astronaut and a retired Navy captain. NPR's Quill Lawrence has more.
Kelly is a former Navy combat pilot. After he and 5 other Democrats made the video, President Trump accused them of sedition punishable by death. Now, a defense official who was not authorized to speak publicly confirmed that the Navy sent recommendations to the Department of Defense's General Counsel about the highly unusual possibility of recalling Kelly to active duty in order to punish him. The official offered no further details. Senator Kelly's office told NPR that Kelly won't be intimidated and said, quote, Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump could do themselves a favor and learn about the country's history, the Constitution, and the rule of law. Quill Lawrence, NPR News.
Wall Street at this hour, the Dow off 239, the NASDAQ down 406. This is NPR News.
Live from News 88.7 in Houston, I'm Tom Perumian. The Houston ISD School Board paused its plans to vote on sunsetting arts magnet programs at Kashmir, Northside, and Heights high schools. The programs fall under the district's career and technical education umbrella. District leaders said Thursday a review of Houston labor market data showing those careers are no longer meeting the threshold for high-wage, high-demand jobs. More than 700 nurses at a hospital in Bryan College Station voted Wednesday to join one of the nation's largest nursing unions. News 88.7's Kyle McClanagan says the vote comes about a year after nurses in Austin ratified their first union contract.
Registered nurses at the 316-bed St. Joseph Health Hospital, owned by Common Spirit Health, are now part of the National Nurses United Union. According to the union, the nurses want to address patient safety issues while increasing staff recruitment and retention. The union claims that the hospital made $1.1 billion in profit last year and has more than enough funds to manage the problems raised by the nursing staff. The vote in Brazos County comes approximately 1 year after nurses at the Ascension Seton Medical Center in Austin ratified their first union contract. National Nurses United says it has over 225,000 members nationwide. The hospital did not immediately respond to a request for comment regarding the vote. I'm Kyle McClinigan, News 88.7.
In sports, the Rockets beat the LA Clippers 115-113 last night, 6 players scoring at least 10 points in the effort. Houston has the entire weekend off. They'll take on the Denver Nuggets on the road on Monday. Your check of weather, fog lifting and temperatures rising, becoming partly sunny today with a high of 73. The fog will return later at night, otherwise partly cloudy with a low of 63. Right now, 64 degrees under cloudy skies on the UH campus. I'm Tom Perumian, News 88.7.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include Progressive Insurance, working to help protect small businesses and the owners that run them, offering customizable coverages to salons, accounting firms, tradespeople, and more. Learn more at progressivecommercial.com.
Live from the University of Houston, it's Hello Houston, an open forum on today's biggest stories affecting Houston and beyond. Call now, 713-440-8870, or let us know your thoughts on today's topics by emailing us at talk@hellohouston.org. Now here's your host for Hello Houston, Ernie Manous, Celeste Diaz-Sherman, and Frank Billingsley.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
I know. Friday, as we like to say.
We made it.
YouTube. Our YouTubers are already like, we made it.
Yeah, it seemed like an extremely long week for some reason. I think it's the anticipation. We know the holiday is just a week and a half away. And so it just every step toward. And then when it gets here, which is the worst thing, because as soon as it gets here, then it's over. And then you're like, oh, it's done.
Well, it's sort of ingrained from childhood when we were all anticipating Christmas and Hanukkah and the New Year, and then you're right. You're like, it's not here fast enough, and then it just zips by.
Yeah.
Or summer vacation. When you get to summer vacation, it would never end. There it was laid out in front of you. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, we go back to school in 3 days and the whole world crumbled.
Well, were you a Memorial Day to Labor Day kid for summer vacation? Because I was.
That's the way, growing up, that's the way it always was.
Yeah. Of course, now they go back like July 7th.
We're being let out later. I know specifically with the HISD calendar, we're being let out later, and we do go back earlier.
Yeah.
I wonder if it would be smart to just go all year. You know, a lot of European countries go all year.
Yeah, do kind of the quarter semester type.
Yeah, I mean, you get breaks, and you'd have a week every quarter or two, time for tests and all of that. Might be a different kind of...
And working parents would probably appreciate, because I don't know what happens for those 3 months in the middle all of a sudden where if you've got...
Now what?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so guess what? It's my anniversary today.
12/12, this time 25.
Right, but 12/12/12, so I could remember it.
Yeah.
But New York State came out with marriage equality in 2011, and we weren't sure Texas ever would. I mean, who knew? So we took advantage of that and got married in New York on 12/12/12 because we met on August 12th. I'm like, I can't go get married in the middle of hurricane season in New York City. I mean, it's just too much stress, right? Yeah. As it turned out, there were no hurricanes that year in August, but
there was a storm a-brewing, though.
Yeah, right. And then, fall. It's hard to find the right time, and ratings books when you're in television. And then you get into March and April. A New York wedding in March and April is really expensive. So 12/12/12 was a Wednesday, and it was great fun and half the price. I know you were.
I was there.
Half the price of what it would have been on a Saturday. So we're all for it. Anyway, happy anniversary, Kevin. He gave me a insulated creamer. I've been looking for an insulated creamer forever. Yeti
what
doesn't
do you give the man who has everything?
You know what? Yeti doesn't make them. Stanley doesn't make them. You can get a kind of a big one like you see at Starbucks, but a little one just for a couple of people where you can put your milk in there and not have to go back and forth to the refrigerator. You can't find them. So Kevin went to a restaurant supply company and found it.
And it's pretty.
That's beautiful. You can see it on my Facebook and Instagram. I posted it right there.
And you know what? If you are looking for something to give someone, maybe a trip in the state of Texas. Because if you don't want to go out and travel this holiday season, you want to stay closer to home. And we've got those answers for you. Did you see that great segue in there?
Love it.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Chet Garner is going to be with us from the Daytripper, and we're very much looking forward to him being here and lots of other great topics. But the weather outside,
It's
some people are saying
changing.
frightful.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful. You know
Yes.
what? Today, no problem. 75 degrees for a high. Tomorrow, no problem. 75 degrees for a high. Then as cold front comes through, midnight, Saturday night into Sunday. Sunday will be windy and cold with a high of 55. So that Monday morning, it'll be 35. Now, if you're up in Huntsville, it'll be 29. Ooh. If you're in Livingston, it'll be 30, 31. So this freeze line, the first one of the season, if you took your pencil and you drew a line from Huntsville to Lake Charles and went north of that line, that would be your zone of freezing temperature. So,
okay, I'm going to ask, could they get any snow?
No snow. It doesn't look like it's that kind of a front, just a cold Arctic air blast. But here I thought of you because if I can show you one model that will give you an afternoon temperature on Christmas Day of 80 degrees.
Thanks, Frank. I was getting all excited. I thought you were going to say, Ernie, you can get that white Christmas
No. In fact,
you get
this
white
little
skin exposed because people will be in shorts.
And this little snap doesn't last long. It's Monday morning and then a little chilly Monday afternoon, but by Wednesday we're back in the 70s.
Thanks a lot, Frank.
Sorry.
But it is going to be cold. For those of you who want cold, cold is a coming, and then it's going to warm up again. Welcome to living in Houston.
Yep.
We have a lot to talk about, so Celeste, take us into the headlines.
Yes, competing healthcare-related bills failed to advance in the Senate on Thursday, meaning subsidies for the Affordable Care Act are set to expire at the end of 2025, which most likely will cause prices to skyrocket. Both bills needed 60 votes to advance, but neither succeeded. The Republican-backed plan failed by a vote of 51 to 48. Democrats rejected the bill, arguing it did nothing to address healthcare premiums and opposed restrictions in the bill on abortion and gender-affirming care. Democrats proposed a 3-year extension of existing federal subsidies, but that measure failed 51 to 48. Republicans have argued that extending the subsidies would allow what they describe as Obamacare waste, fraud, and abuse to continue, while lining the pockets of insurance companies. What do you think of both plans failing? And what is the answer for health care, in your opinion, in this country? Now is the time to join us on Hello Houston, 713-440-8870.
I thought I was going to be able to have a great response to the beginning of your question, but then when the second part came, what's the answer for health care in this country? I don't think we know. I mean, I think that's what the problem is, that the plans that are being put out there don't address all the concerns that are there. I will say I was following this vote and the talk and leading up to the vote yesterday, and I thought to myself, one of these is going to pass. It's really going to be surprising. It's actually, they're going to get somewhere with it.
We're going to get some type of partisan agreement.
And then it went back to what people had speculated was going to happen. And it's interesting to me that on either side, they both were 51 to 48.
What I don't understand, honestly, is that this has been a very successful healthcare program. For people that are on it, you don't have a bunch of Americans writing in saying, I'm on this Obamacare or affordable health care, and it's screwing me over. I want something better. I want something different. You don't hear that. You hear it from the Republican Party saying this is a terrible plan. Insurance companies are getting rich off the backs of everyone else, and we need to change it, and we're going to come up with a better plan. And then that never happens, and so here we are. But when you look at these rising premiums, that I talked to someone just last week whose monthly she is on the affordable care. It's $3,700 a month. $3,700
currently or
a
with
month.
the increase?
Currently,
yeah.
And this is a healthy 55-year-old woman.
Well, and I will say, and I'm not a health economist by any stretch here, but that even if we had left to the Affordable Care Act the way it was going, these increases were going to happen. The thing was, it was the subsidies that were put in during the COVID era that brought all these prices down. So you can look at it different ways. You can say it's a program that needs maintenance to keep it realistic, but without that maintenance, that extra infusion of cash, that the program that was in place was not going to work as people are talking now about thinking of it as the ACA, that they're increasing those prices. It was because of those additional subsidies.
Well, giving Bernie Sanders Medicare for all a hard look so that over the years you can get into Medicare at age 35, which, by the way, Medicare's not free. I'm on Medicare. It's not free.
Yeah.
You do pay, and if you've made a lot of money in your career, you pay even more. Yeah. It's called IRMA, and it's an added supplement that you have to pay. But it's not nearly $3,700 a month.
Well, I'll think about it when I turn 35. Celeste?
You're listening to Hello Houston. We are discussing the Affordable Care Act subsidies, which are set to expire. And we're going to go to the phone lines. We have a call from Rick from Cyprus. Rick, welcome to Hello Houston. What is your comment or question?
Yeah, thank you. Due to this whole issue, which Congress is not going to fix, they're stuck in Trump's, Trump. Anyway, I think when everything hits the fan, maybe they have to come to the table, figure out a way to get universal health care. It's going to take a while. It's going to be painful for millions and millions of people, but maybe this is what it's going to take for them to finally deal with this whole mess.
Yeah, you may be right, Rick. We were talking about that yesterday, and I think Ernie totally agrees with you, don't you?
Yeah, that was part of my worry that something, and this sounds horrible to say it this way, and it has nothing to do with human people and their problems that they face, but from a purely technical point of view, if one of these plans had gotten approved, then it was kicking the can down the road again for something that still needs to be fixed. And in some way, you got to stop for a moment, breathe, and figure out, and maybe even do, as Celeste and I were talking yesterday, a reset. And look at this fresh, because there's got to be a better solution.
I think the issue, though, at this point, where we are at with this situation, when we pause and do a reset, there is going to be an implication where the subsidies and the cost is going to skyrocket for people that are already being pinched with the current economic situation that we're at. Right. And that is where I think is what is most disappointing about this, is that we could not come to make a partisan decision knowing that people are about to get hit very hard when it looks at their insurance premiums.
Well, a lot of them are going to just go without.
Yep.
Yeah.
And again, 713-440-8870. Let's go to Colby from Katy. Colby, welcome to Hello Houston.
Hello. And I'm just going to echo what our last caller said. We need universal health care. And I think if they want to make it, explicitly for American citizens only, and still have private insurance for folks who feel like it's superior or allows them to get their services faster, and that's fine. But we just can't keep going on this road we're on. It's not sustainable.
You're Colby, right. When you say something like that, why do you think it has been so hard to reach that decision in the halls of government?
I think the profit model. There's two things that I'm firmly against profiting off of. One of them is our well-being, and the other one, I think, is incarceration. Mm-hmm. I think those are things right there that there's that. And if you eliminate all these different pools that everyone's paying into, all these different insurance companies, you have these administrative costs. You're wondering who's in network, who's out of network. You've got advertising. You've got all these different added costs, and then they still have to make a profit on top of that. Mm-hmm. And I think universal health care just kind of it trims a whole lot of fat, and it gets us what we need when we need it. And you can't getting sick is not a choice.
Yeah. Right. Colby, thank you for those good points there.
I know doctors that have left their profession because they couldn't get reimbursed by insurance companies. And so they maybe went to being in plastics or cosmetics, which are cash and carry. So they didn't have to deal with insurance. Right. That's a scary sign because we're losing good medical professionals because of this.
Right. And again, 713-440-8870. Let's go to Rebecca from 3rd Ward. Rebecca, welcome to Hello Houston.
Hi, thanks. I just wanted to comment that part of the Affordable Care Act design was that the mandate was intended to have healthy people and sick people in the pool, which helps keep premiums down. When we overturned the mandate, when Congress overturned the mandate, we now have more sick people in Affordable Care Act plans, which is driving the premium cost. Of course, healthcare prices are going up, and of course, that's driving the premium, but the rejection of the mandate to keep the bigger pool together is the main driver of those premiums skyrocketing.
You're absolutely right.
From my perspective.
Yeah. We ought to have Medicare for all and we should tax it just like we take Social Security or Medicare out of your check. And if you're a working adult, and if it has to be just for citizens, so be it. But we should be able to take that money out of a working person's check, and it goes into your medical insurance.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how they resolve this. But
Well, I
something's
think you're
going to
right.
have to happen soon.
I think the baloney's going to hit the fan, and we're going to see what happens with all of that.
Where do you get your expression?
I don't know. But somebody's going to have baloney all over their face.
Yes. That is right.
As we come to the end of all this, I want to remind everyone today is National Poinsettia Day, or poinsettia. How do you say it?
Poinsettia.
Poinsettia Day.
If you're from New Orleans, you say poinsettia.
Right. There's different
Yes.
ways. Well, so put them out there. I hope they don't freeze. It's cold.
It's going to be cold, especially Monday.
Coming up on Hello Houston, we're going to talk with the Daytripper, Chet Garner. When we come back, this is News 88.7. Stay with us.
You know, this is what trust sounds like. You are tuning in to Houston Public Media because we help you make sense of the world around you. This station, as you know, is now 100% supported by this community, which is a big deal. So please make your gift right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or give us a call, 888-909-0887.
And it's time to act fast because this is the final live radio campaign of the year. And if you've been waiting to support Houston Public Media all year, well, guess what? Now is the time. Your gift powers trusted news, thoughtful storytelling, and the station that you rely on every single day. So don't miss your chance to make an impact before your year ends. Give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or pick up that phone, 888-909-0887.
We don't only ask you to reach out to us when we're asking you to make a gift, we also talk to you about joining our conversations, and we get reactions. Denise says, "Thank you for all the great programming." Oh, I like this part. I've really enjoyed Ernie, Celeste, and Frank on Hello Houston via YouTube. I'm a HuTuber. That's our group.
I love that. Thank you.
Thank you.
So make your gift and make it count twice. Support independent news, and your contribution may be tax deductible. Give today at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
And we want to thank also Catherine from Houston, Haiti from Cyprus, Ann from Kingwood, Jimmy from Houston, and Christy as well from Houston. You rely on local journalism that reflects your community. You are all a part of our community, and your gift ensures our reporters who are from right here, Greater Houston, just like you, can continue telling the essential stories of our city with the depth and local perspective that you trust, that we all trust. Give today at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
National outlets probably aren't covering what's happening at HISD or at your local city council, but Houston Public Media does. When you give, you're making sure Houston stays informed on issues that actually affect our lives. Make your year-end gift now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
And it's important to note that today it's the final on-air campaign of the year. And this is it. We won't be campaigning on air this year anymore. And your support right now matters more than ever. This is your moment to give back, to keep public media strong, and to help finish the year fully funded. When you give today, you are doing something powerful, and that's the key. This is powerful for yourself and your community. Make your year-end gift now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
Houston Public Media is where you wake up. We're with you on your drive. We're with you as you wind down at night. We're here with you all day because this station is part of your day. Now, the time to give back is right now. It's easy to do. Just make a gift at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate. You can also give us a call at 888-909-0887. We want to hear from you. And for those we have heard from, thank you.
Imagine two friends getting together.
Hi, I'm Lenny Ambrose from St. Arnold Brewing Company, proud supporters of Houston Public Media. Right now, with your $60 donation, you can choose tickets to News and Brews. This member-exclusive event takes place February 17th. Enjoy a pint, connect with fellow NPR fans, and meet the Houston Public Media newsroom in person. Select News and Brews tickets when you donate at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
The high cost of weddings.
It's almost like
this is my one night to cosplay as ultra wealthy.
And on Wildcard, author Brene Brown reflects on her faith.
I call that thing God. Most of my family members call it fishing.
That's on Wildcard, and it's been a minute from NPR.
Tune in Saturday afternoon at 6 p.m.
Discover great concert venues in Paris.
For one thing, the acoustics of these old churches are magnificent.
Get inspired by the winter solstice in Ireland.
I just really felt part of something enormous.
And enjoy a taste of Christmas traditions in Estonia, Venice, and Rome.
What's amazing at Christmas in Rome, the amount of panettone that are bought and sold.
On The Next Travel with Rick Steves.
Saturday morning at 6 a.m. on News 88.7.
Tonight on Houston Public Media TV8, after a new episode of Party Politics at 8, American Masters celebrates the life and career of the legendary Dick Van Dyke on his 100th birthday. Tonight on TV8.
Houston Public Media is a service of the University of Houston and is supported with your gifts to the Houston Public Media Foundation. More information available online at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
And now back to Hello Houston. To comment on any of today's topics, call 713-440-8870 or email us at talk@hellohouston.org. Now back to Ernie Manous, Celeste Diaz-Sherman, and Frank Billingsley.
Okay, Chet Garner has hosted the travel program, The Daytripper, for, I can't believe this, 16 seasons, and it shows no sign of stopping. The show explores every corner of Texas, from well-known landmarks to completely obscure hidden gems and everything in between. It's been hugely successful, earning 18 Lone Star Emmys since 2009. And here to tell us all about the show and where you and your family should travel during the holiday seasons, we welcome Chet Garner himself. Chet, welcome to the program.
Ernie, my good friend. I'm just chasing you a number of years, man. I'm running right behind you, trying to catch up.
Keep running, mister. I could be your father. Anyway, if folks want to join the conversation and chat with Chet, give us a call, 713-440-8870.
Where are you, Chet? Looking at this man cave.
This is exactly the man cave. It's all the stuff. And this is my office. This is our podcast studio, full of all the things that my wife no longer wanted in our house. She's like, you bring that to your office.
Including
I think every
you.
man needs a podcast studio.
So including you, something she didn't want in the house anymore?
On occasion. Don't you have a podcast to record? Go.
Well, you know, there's a good point to start with, too, the podcast. So Daytripper is not just on the air for a half an hour once a week. All of these, you guys have grown and grown in your reach and how you explore this state.
Well, yeah, you know, it's been fun. I mean, as you know well, everybody in public media knows it's a Wild West frontier. And so we're just trying to spread our message, which is all about celebrating Texas as many places as possible. So, you know, what was just a TV show is now, you know, active social media. It's a podcast. It's all the different places that you got to be now to spread the message. And it's all about just inspiring people to go out and explore Texas. So I've got the best job on earth. I get to go and eat all the barbecue, you know, jump in all the swimming holes, see the little museums, and then I get to share that message and hopefully inspire Texans to go out and do the same.
Well, you know, it's interesting, Chet, that you talk about celebrating places in Texas. I have to ask you, so what would be your top, you know, 2-3 spots during the holidays that you think people, it should be on people's radar?
Okay. I mean, yes, the holidays, I mean, in Texas, the magic of Christmas is like all over the state. Yeah. And what's wonderful is like all these historic districts that just go over the top with lights. Our studio's in downtown Georgetown. And I mean, like every December, it turns into a Hallmark movie around here. But that can be said about a lot of, you know, small towns. And so I think for people who want to go out and explore, just drop yourself in the middle of a historic district. Whether that's, you know, for Houstonians, like Galveston, my goodness, is beautiful during the holidays. Little towns like Brenham that are right outside of y'all's, you know, right beyond the Houston city limits. And then, you know, like, Santa's Wonderland outside of College Station. I mean, that is like that is a crazy Christmas experience. And
I have friends that like Wimberley.
All these, all these things that you can just go and do. If you just, if you're up for a little road trip that goes a little into the dark hours of the night, like it's endless almost.
All right, just curious, where is your family spending the holidays?
Ooh, so we're going to go, I've got family all over the place. We're going to be in Goldthwaite a little while, Tyler a little while, Georgetown a little while, and then we like to do like a Texas staycation. And so we're going to do a little staycation out in Fredericksburg. We're going to go stay in a treehouse with me. I've got 5 kids, so it's going to be a pretty big treehouse and explore like the Hill Country Trail of Lights. Another hack that I like to give people is like, there's a golden time between Christmas and New Year's where all of the lights are still up in these small towns, but the crowds are gone. Mm-hmm. And so that's when, we go out and we trip around at that point.
So that leads me to this, Chet, but because you just said treehouse. I remember there was a show that was just about tree houses across the country that a guy had on HDTV or something. So you find a treehouse in Texas where you could take your wife and 5 kids. How do you come up with the places you find?
It's a tough job. I mean, that's like, my passion is travel. My passion is exploring. And so for me, it's actually pretty easy because this is just what I love to do. It's like asking a car guy about cars like that. They're going to just go nuts, or sports people about sports, or British people who love British television, like Ernie, like they,
all 3 of them.
They're just gonna talk forever about it, right? This is what I love to do. So it comes pretty easy.
So are you searching all the time? You Googling it and looking everywhere?
All the time. Like I was just in Houston yesterday. I had to go down there for business, and so I took a long way home and ate at a couple spots that I had never tried before. Shout out to Brisket and Rice. They're one of the top 50 barbecue joints. I just never had it. It was some of the best barbecue I'd ever had, and it's like kind of an Asian infusion with Texas barbecue.
Yeah,
so
that's what Houston's known
I'm always just discovering new stuff.
16 seasons of finding places. Is it harder now, or has it opened up a world that's much bigger and brighter, and you're finding more things and can't get to all of them?
I think. I jokingly say I could make this show until, I don't have any teeth anymore and I've got to, go everywhere on a little motorized scooter. Like there's literally so much in Texas. It's just endless. And so I would say, Ernie, both of those things are true at the same time. It's getting a little more difficult because we've taken some of the obvious places off the board, like we've been to the New Braunfels and the, places that maybe, the big cities. We've certainly covered those multiple times. We've got multiple episodes about Houston. But, it's forcing me to go into like these smaller towns where I know of one thing to do. Like I know that famous chicken fried steak place is downtown, but like I can't make a 30-minute show about me eating one chicken fried steak. And so it's forced me to dig a little deeper, and inevitably I find stuff.
I bet you could do a 30-minute show about you eating one chicken fried steak.
The very niche audience, but they would be there. It'd be very small.
Yeah.
But
let's talk about the gravy now for about 5 minutes. Did I mention the crust? Let's go. Oh.
I'm like, okay, we're not going to talk about it on the Hello Houston.
He's building the show.
No, but Chet, it's interesting. You're talking about your love and your passion for travel and your love and passion for Texas and the food, but talk to us about the people that you meet.
Oh, man. The state motto of Texas is friendship.
Yeah.
And I've learned that no matter what corner of the state you go into, if you approach people with a smile and with a friendly demeanor, they're going to give it back to you tenfold. Mm-hmm. And so, sometimes people are intimidated to travel into small towns, be it for whatever reasons. And I've learned that, if you go in there with a smile, you're going to be treated like family as soon as you get there. So, wonderful people. And, our big cities hold some really interesting things, but our small towns hold some of the weirdest, wildest characters you'll ever meet who are a little too outside the box to even exist in a big city. So they went somewhere where there were 0 rules about anything, and they're doing crazy stuff, be it art or food or,
is there,
history.
Is there a spot that you haven't gone yet that's on your radar?
Oh, there's a few, believe it or not. Yeah, there's quite a few. And like, I've been to Big Bend 6 times, and I haven't explored that whole park.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you this, Chet. So the title of the show, The Daytripper, I assume started out as where can people go in a day, like to literally take a day trip, and it's expanded to a weekend and maybe a full week. Do you find yourself getting back to the roots of the mission of where can we go in a day and enjoy ourselves and come home?
I think it did start as the Austin Daytripper, believe it or not. And that was like season 1. But when I started going to other PBS stations across the state, pitching them on the Austin Daytripper, this is what I got. They said, oh, you Austinites, you don't realize that people outside of Austin aren't as in love with Austin as you may think.
Accurate.
Houstonians can certainly echo that. And so I was like, you know what? Like, I probably have drawn too tight of a circle around Austin. Let me expand my reach. And so what's a day trip? It depends on where you're starting from. And so it's about a celebration of the state, and it's less about like, where can I get in a day and get back home? It's more about like, I'm going to parachute into this town for a day, sun up to sundown, and what can I eat, see, and do when I'm there? So all the state of Texas is our playground.
To jump a little bit onto Celeste's question here, is there a place you haven't figured out how to crack, that you want to do it, but you haven't really figured out how to tell the story of that place?
Oh gosh, all the time. Like Houston's a good example. Like, I thought when we would do a big city, we would break it up into like bite-sized pieces for people, and I attacked Houston from like this neighborhood mentality that you've got all these great neighborhoods, be it the Heights or Montrose or the Medical District. And then I realized that that's only true for a certain degree, because I would want to like do this in this side of the city and then this on this side of the city. And that didn't make any sense anymore for me to do this neighborhood breakdown. And so I'm always trying to find a new way to attack Houston. Like, because there's so much to do, so many places. And it's like, well, up here, I'm on the Beltway, and then now I'm down, in Pearland, and now I'm over here. It's like, no human would actually do that. So
yes, a whole bunch of us do every single day here.
Yeah, maybe. Y'all are a little crazier. That's it. It's the big cities offer the hardest challenges on how to make a 30 minutes that people actually understand. The small towns are the easiest, because they've got a very big history, and sometimes you're literally going to do everything in 30 minutes. You will do everything that town has to offer a tourist. Right. And then there's like Houston, which you guys probably haven't even done everything there yet, and you live there.
Well, have you ever come across a surprise where you wanted to go to this little town for the best chicken fried steak ever, and you got there and they were out of chicken fried steak, or it was the worst thing you ever put in your mouth, and you're like, oh, well, heck, what am I going to do now?
No. I can't tell you how many like smoked bologna platters I've gotten because I was too late to the barbecue joints. I was like, I'll take brisket. They're like, buddy, brisket sold out 2 hours ago. Like, well, what do you have left? Well, we have bologna. But craft bologna, you don't knock it till you try it. If someone makes a good bologna, it can be pretty delicious. But
it's all the sauce.
That's one of the things. If you're not there at 8 a.m., sometimes you're done.
So people who think that Chet just sprung out as this traveler of the state, we've got a lawyer here before us who was not originally a broadcaster.
Ernie, you're giving away all my secrets. Yeah. I'm a licensed attorney, but it just, going back to like what I find, I found a job that fed my passions, which makes the job incredibly easy to do. Lawyering was not, yes, I was fine at it, graduated, got licensed and all that, but it didn't really feed me. It wasn't something that I felt like God had necessarily gifted me in, or that indulged my passions. And so I'm a big proponent that if you can match your passions with your profession, that's the magic sauce, and you'll never work a day in your life. Now, taking that I work super duper hard on the show all the time, but that's like, it feeds me rather than drains me.
Do you think the Daytripper will ever jump into some other states?
I mean, we stretched what Texas was last season or a season before, and we went to what I call old Texas. Some people just call it Colorado. I call it, because the Texas map in 1836 went all the way up to Wyoming. And so I think we had so much fun. I think we're going to play in that sandbox again. So like Texas included about, 2/3 of New Mexico, about 1/3 of Colorado, and then even a very small piece of Wyoming. And so, depending on how you define Texas, I got a lot more to explore.
Well, good quality, fun broadcasting like you do is the reason we keep asking for viewer support. And as you know, it's gotten tougher and tougher. Your show, obviously green light. So I see that TV8, we have it Wednesday at 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. So I guess you're all over the state. Are you always at the same day, same time for everyone?
No. Unfortunately, PBS fiercely independent, so they put me wherever they want me to be. And so we're on in Austin on the weekends and Dallas, and so different stations, different times.
But other stations in other cities, even outside of Texas, I would think there's an interest in Texas. I would think some of the stations in other states would pick you up just to show how cool we are.
Yeah, you're right. We're on in 49 different states.
Yeah.
And we're sort of a staple on PBS's Create channel. So we've got people all over the country and even the world via, the internet who tune in, because Texas has this sort of mythos to it, right?
Yeah.
And people now, like, you just look at television and how many shows even right now are based in Texas that have giant audiences, whether that's like Landman or that Hunting Wives thing on Netflix, and then some other ones. I just ran into a bunch of people who their whole perception of Texas, they were from Bangladesh. Their whole perception of Texas was based off of Walker, Texas Ranger. And like that was their show. Or gosh, Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah. But it's interesting, Chet. We've talked a lot about the the success of your show. And how have you seen Texas as a state evolve from when y'all started to now?
Oh, that's a great question. I went back, like our first shows we filmed in 2009, and I went back and started watching some of that B-roll, and it looks like a historic documentary. I'm like, dang, I am old now. Like I'm officially old. And so I love what I do, but I think, in 20 years from now, the Daytripper is going to be sort of a very special time capsule of what these towns were, because, we're at 30 million Texans. We're supposed to add, we're supposed to get to 40, 50 million Texans. The backbone of our states, I mean, the state's going to change so much.
Yeah.
These small towns are going to change so much. Houston, it will probably double in size. And what's that going to look like for the Tomballs and the Springs, the Brenhams that are kind of on the fringes. And so, it's going to be interesting as time evolves. Texas looks very different now from when we started. The next 20 years are going to be even crazier. So I think this will be really fun to look back on.
Yeah. Well,
even when I'm old and gone, somebody will go back and look at it like some historic black and white footage.
20 years from now, you'll be riding around in that little buddy of yours, zipping around, showing us things still.
Well, just blending my food up because I don't have teeth anymore.
Right.
Chet Garner is the host of the PBS show, The Daytripper. Chet, thank you so much for joining us today on Hello Houston.
It was an absolute honor, y'all.
Thanks, Chet.
And coming up, we're going to learn all about an immersive Christmas experience at Bayou Bend Collection and Gardens. Stay with us as Hello Houston continues.
Well, stories like the one you just heard are precisely why you listen to Houston Public Media. Everything we do is made possible because of you and your support of this station. This station is now fully funded by this community. This is new to our station, and that's why we're turning to you. Please make your gift right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or give us a call, 888-909-0887.
You tune in for trusted facts, compelling interviews like the one we just had with Chet Garner, and and the stories that truly reflect our greater Houston community. And that insight, that depth, that quality only exists because you demand it. We are now fully funded by the community, which means you, the listener, you decide what gets covered.
I tell you what, it's one of the last chances this year to make a tax-deductible donation, too. So you can give us that contribution, write it off your taxes, support the news you count on at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate, or give us a call, 888-909-0887.
And your decision right now directly funds that future. When you give, you aren't just donating. You are voting for the kind of news and culture that you believe Houston deserves. So cast your vote for quality local content. Support the station you want to hear. Give at houstonpublicmedia.org or call 888-909-0887.
Every city needs trusted local news. Houston Public Media covers schools, transportation, government in your community, not just what's happening in Washington. That kind of coverage needs your support. So give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
And the calendar is winding down, like Frank was saying, and so is this campaign. This is our final live fundraising campaign of the year. And your gift right now helps Houston Public Media. You're going to help us finish strong. And then if this service, if it matters to you, if you tune in every day, now is the time to act. Do not wait. This is your opportunity to power the news and stories you count on. So give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
Houston Matters highlights. We know you value Houston Public Media. That's why you're watching right now. So take the next step and become a new member of the station you rely on. Every gift makes a difference. And what matters most right now is supporting the station that brings you the news and information you rely on. It only takes a minute to make a big difference. So join as a new member today at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 800-364-8300.
Want to binge All Creatures Great and Small? Catch up on Nova? Or revisit Ken Burns documentaries? You can with PBS Passport. With a gift of $5 or more per month to Houston Public Media, you'll get access to PBS Passport that lets you watch your favorite programs anytime you want. Support the programs you love and enjoy them on your own schedule with PBS Passport. Make your gift now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
I'm Anita Rao. For many sexual assault survivors, getting back into dating and sexual relationships is a part of healing. The question is, how?
In those early years, anything I did was sort of decentering my own pleasure in order to really ensure that the experiences would feel safe to me.
Sex and intimacy after sexual assault. Next time on Embodied.
Sunday night at 8 on News 88.7.
The Federal Reserve has some thoughts on this economy. Labor market, weaker. Inflation, stubborn. Interest rates, cut. As always, though, nothing the Fed does, and really nothing in this economy, is completely simple. I'm Kai Rizdal, the economic week that was and the weeks that will be. Next time on Marketplace.
And now back to Hello Houston. To comment on any of today's topics, call 713-440-8870 or email us at talk@hellohouston.org. Now back to Ernie Manous, Celeste Diaz-Sherman, and Frank Billingsley.
Nothing brings in the holiday cheer quite like seeing vast amounts of Christmas lights. Woo-hoo. Well, through December 30th, Bayou Bend, the Museum of Fine Arts, Houston's historic mansion, will be transformed into an immersive holiday-themed experience called the Christmas Village at Bayou Bend. It's featuring 14 acres of Christmas lights along with holiday decorations, theatrical effects, carolers, and more. This experience will also feature new additions, including the entire handmade gingerbread village. Sounds delicious. To tell us more about this experience, we're joined now by Daniel Ackermann, the director of the Bayou Bend Collection and Gardens at the Museum of Fine Arts, Houston. Daniel, welcome to Hello Houston.
Thank you so much for having me. And, every night people ask, can I eat the village? And I say, you
No.
can, but you shouldn't.
Right.
That would be my first question. Can I eat the village?
Can I eat the village?
When did all this start?
So Christmas Village at Bayou Bend really began in its current form about 2015. And the idea was, let's create an event that really is a gift to the people of Houston and invites them to come and experience this incredible 14 acres and historic house and collection that I'm a Hog gave to the Museum of Fine Arts Houston just about 60 years ago now.
And I would say the Bayou Bend, just the historical house itself, is a gift to the city within itself. Talk to us about that people might not know about the Bayou Bend historical home.
Absolutely. So Ms. Hogg in 1956-57 decides she's not only going to give her collection of American art and antiques to the Museum of Fine Arts Houston, but she's also going to give her house and her 14 acres of gardens. And actually next year we'll be celebrating the 60th anniversary of when that gift was completed in 1966.
If I'm not mistaken, Memorial Park came from the Hogg family.
It did. And in fact, Miss Hogg is responsible, and her brothers and her family, for so much that we take for granted here in Houston Memorial Park. Her advocacy for mental health, her service on the school board, the Houston Symphony. A lot of what we love today in Houston has its roots in her philanthropy and the philanthropy of people of her generation.
The home itself was built when?
The home was completed in 1928. It was designed by John Staub, and it was designed for Miss Hogg and two of her brothers. They were in their 40s at the time. So it's really meant to be this family home for three unmarried siblings. But in 1930, her oldest brother dies unexpectedly, and her other brother gets married and actually moves next door. And so this house, built by Staub for the three siblings, really becomes just her house in the 1930s.
So my question then for you is, when you are designing the Christmas Village, when you're decking out the house, and boy, they deck it out, are you putting it at a particular period, at a particular moment? Is it 1930, or are you looking more broadly in how you're decorating?
So we're trying to evoke the time period where Miss Hogg is there, but we're also trying to do it in a really theatrical way. Unlike a lot of Christmas-themed historic houses, we've actually decided to partner with actors and to create a whole immersive experience. So you're really walking through these theater sets that are set to evoke a Christmas of the 30s or 40s, but really is about creating an immersive environment.
And do you keep, I'm a Hogg's, what you would think what she would be inspired by at all, that her spirit into the decorations and things?
Well, she loved the community and she loved children. And so we really thought a lot about how do we bring those two things to the fore in what we do. And, one of the highlights, I think, for a lot of visitors is an actress playing Miss Hogg actually comes down the steps at the end of the performance to thank people for coming and to encourage them to come back.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, do you decorate all of this with a group of your own, or do you offer other people the chance to pull in their talents to this?
We have so many partners. We are. A lot of it is done in-house with our own staff and our garden team and our education team. We work really closely with our partners at Landry's and River Oaks District and the events company. It really is an all-hands-on-deck to get 14 acres ready for the public.
Talk about what is in the 14 acres itself. We talked a little in the intro. We talked about the house. What else do you experience?
Well, anybody who's ever been to Bayou Bend knows the bridge across the bayou. And
Yes.
so you have to start with just the sheer spectacle of that lit up at night. We've got lights throughout the 14 acres of the gardens. We actually have new areas lit this year. We've got a giant tent on the Diana Terrace with a Christmas tree, a model railroad. You can't do Christmas without a model railroad. Yeah. And this one's particularly special. We have, of course, the house experience. We have this 3D projection on the side of the house, which is part of the whole kind of overarching story where Santa has landed at Bayou Bend. His reindeer have run off, and he is trying to deliver presents while his reindeer are probably off munching on the azaleas. And then new this year, we've got John Levitch and Gingerbread Lane, 500-plus structure Gingerbread Village. We also have a partnership this year for the first time. I'm going to mess up the German, so anybody, but the Weihnachts Film Festival. It's the Christmas Film Festival in Berlin. We partnered with them to actually do a mini film festival. We have about 10 international indie Christmas short films that we're screening.
What are the nuts and bolts? How can we see all of this?
Well, the easiest thing to do is to go to MFAH.org, the Museum of Fine Arts Houston's website. We are open from now until December 30th. We're really excited. This Sunday, we're actually doing a special evening, especially for families with children on the spectrum. People where it just, toned down a little bit, starts a little earlier, but really trying to do a sensory-friendly evening. But then we are open and available. We start at 5:30 most nights. We end at either 9 or 10.
Beautiful.
A true treasure.
Daniel Ackermann is the director of Bayou Bend Collection and Gardens at the Museum of Fine Arts Houston. Daniel, thank you so much for joining us today on Hello Houston and bringing the Christmas spirit to Houston.
Thank you all so much for being here and bringing this to Houston.
Thank you.
Coming up, we're going to continue diving into today's top stories. We're going to also discuss President Trump's financial aid packages for U.S. farmers. Stay with us for the second hour of Hello Houston.
Houston Public Media exists to serve you, and right now your support ensures we can keep doing just that. We're we're a fully community-supported station. That means that this station depends entirely on listeners like you to support it. You rely on Houston Public Media to bring you the news you need, and we are now turning to you for support. So do that right now. Make your gift now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
The news will not stop, and neither will we. We will continue to bring you all the information and programs that you rely on, and we take this very seriously here at Houston Public Media. But we can only do it with your support. Help us finish strong before the year ends. Make your gift now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or pick up that phone, give us a call, 888-909-0887.
As Celeste said, do it before the year ends. Make a smart move. Your gift to Houston Public Media may be tax deductible, and it definitely supports the facts that you come to this station to hear and learn from. Donate now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
And as we approach the holiday season, think about making a gift to the station that you rely on every single day. Make that gift for you and also for those in our community who may not be able to give to this station right now. If you can give today, you are helping keep this service going for everyone in the community. And that is big and it's important. So make your gift now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
We get coverage of a lot of national news and international news, but sometimes you wonder what's happening right here in Houston. Well, you don't have to wonder anymore because right here we've got reporters on the ground covering all our local stories. So support that local journalism and keep yourself informed. Give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
And this is it. This is the final live radio campaign of the year. And if you've been waiting to support Houston Public Media all year long, now is the time. Right now, your gift powers trusted news, thoughtful storytelling, and the station that you rely on every single day. Don't miss your chance to make an impact before the year ends. Give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate, or again, pick up that phone and give us a call, 888-909-0887.
Public radio fits into your day without you even thinking about it. Think about just how much time you spend with us in the mornings, evenings, on the weekends. As this year comes to an end, reflect on what this station means for you and our community, and give back. It's easy to do. Just go to houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
Stay tuned. There's more Hello Houston on the way with Ernie Manous, Celeste Diaz-Sherman, and Frank Billingsley. For the latest in local news, subscribe to the Hello Houston daily newsletter at houstonpublicmedia.org. Hello Houston is a production of Houston Public Media. The opinions expressed by the guests of this program are solely their own and do not represent the views of management, staff, or underwriters of Houston Public Media. This is News 88.7.
Houston Public Media, in partnership with Texas Southern University, brings to you The Vibe. R&B, hip-hop, and neo-soul. Music that resonates with all ages. The Vibe on 88.7 HD3 and on the Houston Public Media app.
68 degrees at the University of Houston and partly cloudy. Look for a high today in the mid-70s and a low tonight in the mid-60s with patchy dense fog rolling in overnight. I'm Tiffany Taylor. This is your NPR station, KUHF Houston News 88.7, a service of the University of Houston. Oh, shoot.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Louise Schiavone. Donald Trump, former President Bill Clinton, and the former Prince Andrew are among those seen in 19 just-released photos from the estate of the late Jeffrey Epstein. Democrats on the House Oversight Committee released them. There are 95,000 photos in all, and top committee Democrat Robert Garcia says they are combing through them carefully.
It will take days and weeks to ensure that we got those photos and that a redaction is done in the appropriate way. Let me just also say that clearly we have put out, I think, maybe 15 to 20 of those photos this morning. Democrats have. We will continue to put out more photos in the days and weeks ahead. But I just caution folks that the redaction process and ensuring that we are protecting the survivors and the women who were abused by Epstein are protected.
Republicans say nothing in the photos suggests wrongdoing by Trump. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the man at the center of a months-long deportation fight, has avoided being rearrested for now. As NPR's Martin Costi reports, Abrego Garcia was released from detention yesterday, but supporters worried that he might have been rearrested today.
Abrego Garcia had been ordered to check in at the ICE field office in Baltimore, and his lawyer, Simon Sandoval-Moschenberg, told a crowd of supporters that there was concern he wouldn't come back out.
We'll never know what their plans were for this morning, whether it was a check-in, whether they were planning to arrest him, but he's walking out the door and he's heading back to Prince George's County to be with his family, with his child, with his wife, who are waiting there for him.
A federal judge ordered ICE not to detain him while a legal motion is pending. Earlier this year, the administration deported him wrongfully to a prison in his native El Salvador. Abrego Garcia originally entered the U.S. illegally, but is shielded from being sent to El Salvador. He also faces criminal charges for human smuggling. Martin Costi, NPR News.
President Trump talked this week about a booming economy with even better times ahead, but lots of Americans are not feeling that optimism yet. NPR's Danielle Kurtz-Laban has details on Trump's message and the realities.
In Pennsylvania this week, Trump attempted to connect with Americans worried about affordability, but he couldn't resist venting his anger at Democrats who won in November's elections by focusing on the cost of living.
You know, they always have a hoax. The new word is affordability. So they look at the camera and they say, this election is all about affordability.
By some metrics like gas prices and real wages, the economy isn't doing badly. but amid elevated inflation boosted by tariffs, polls show Americans feeling bleak. Nevertheless, Trump continues to give himself top marks, telling Politico this week that he gives his economy a grade of A+++++. Danielle Kurtzleben, NPR News.
On Wall Street at this hour, the Dow Jones Industrial Average off 168 points, the Nasdaq down 336. This is NPR News.
Live from News 88.7 in Houston, I'm Tom Perumian. A new poll of likely voters in the Texas Democratic Senate primary shows Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett leading State Representative James Tallarico by 8 points. News 88.7 politics reporter Andrew Schneider reports.
The Texas Southern University poll shows 51% of likely voters supporting Crockett to 43% supporting Tallarico, with the rest undecided. Mark Jones of Rice University's Baker Institute co-authored the study.
Crockett potentially brings to the table mobilizing Democratic-leaning voters who normally don't participate, whereas Tallarico brings to the table the ability to win over crossover voters who traditionally vote for Republican and more likely than not will vote for Greg Abbott, but potentially could vote for him, especially if the Republican nominee is Ken Paxton.
The poll finds Crockett with an overwhelming advantage among black voters, with Tallarico holding an edge among white and Latino men. I'm Andrew Schneider, News 88.7.
Houston police out in force again as part of Mayor John Whitmire's enhanced traffic enforcement. Extra patrols will be on the 610 North from I-10 West to I-10 East.
HPD will have zero tolerance for road rage, speeding, all the dangers that some present to us. I'm urging everyone to take this as advice and counsel.
Whitmire has launched similar efforts across the city, often resulting in hundreds of tickets being issued to drivers. In sports, the Rockets, they beat the LA Clippers last night, 115 to 113. Houston takes the weekend off. They take on the Nuggets in Denver Monday night. Your check of weather. The fog lifting, and it's going to become partly sunny today with a high near 74. Tonight, we'll see patchy dense fog after 10 p.m. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with a low around 63. It's mostly cloudy and 68 degrees on the UH campus. I'm Tom Perumian. News 88.7.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include Fisher Investments. Fisher is committed to helping clients stay on track to reach their financial goals and enjoy a comfortable retirement. FisherInvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Live from Houston Public Media and News 88.7, it's Hello Houston, an open forum on today's biggest stories affecting Houston and beyond. Call now, 713-440-8870, or let us know your thoughts on today's topics by emailing us at talk@hellohouston.org. And now here's your host for Hello Houston, Ernie Manous, Celestia Sherman, and Frank Billingsley.
It is good to be back. You know what? I have to say, I enjoy Chet so much. Chet Garner from Daytripper was with us in the first hour. He just brings so much energy.
Oh, doesn't he? And I love the man cave. I mean, talk about a cave.
Yeah, if you're not watching on YouTube, you missed seeing where he's coming from. It looks like an undisclosed location.
Looks like
hidden
a
somewhere in the hill
dorm
country.
room. It looks like a college fraternity house after the party.
It is interesting. It is interesting, though. Some of our YouTubers,
the YouTubers
brought up some interesting points. Right, Texas, history can have two sides to it, and I would have wished we would have asked a little bit more about how does he breach some of the towns that might have been more controversial or had more controversial history.
Yeah, and he does talk about it on the show.
On
he
the
takes
show,
you through
he
the
does,
histories
yeah.
of the shows in the town, or the shows that. I keep saying shows instead of towns. He takes you through the history of the towns and helps you understand how they fit into the bigger picture.
Yeah. He makes a good point. We are growing so fast in this state.
Yeah.
He could almost just start over and go back to the towns that he's already been to, and they've evolved into different places. You know,
he comes back, he revisits places and how they've changed and been different because he's been doing it for 16 seasons now. It's amazing. And then you look at Bayou Bend and you're like, what a treasure in our own backyard. You don't have to day trip to go to it. Just trip to it.
I truly love the Bayou.
And I don't want to be a wah go on, but I think they had some flooding issues when we had Harvey because they are on the
Oh,
bayou.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't want to go there because we were all Christmassy and happy, but they really recovered nicely, and I'm glad to see it. I'm glad because he said 2015, and that's when we had Memorial Day flooding, and then we were followed by Tax Day flooding, and then the next year was Harvey, and so that Bayou Bend was seeing the effects of that every year because they're right there on the bayou, but they've done a nice job. Obviously, they have the funds to recover quickly, and they have. So you should go visit.
The other thing to keep in mind, too, at these big tentpole or hallmark events that these kind of institutions do, these fund a lot of the rest of the year for their programs. So when you see a Bayou Bend going all out for Christmas celebration, it's to raise money for the MFA, and that money then will be used throughout the year for the quieter programs that come into the more educational elements of it. So you get to enjoy the holidays with the spectacle, but you're doing something good.
There's a story, I read a little on IMAHOG in the past, and there's a story that her father had invested in Spindletop, which had not hit yet. And on his deathbed, he told her and her two brothers, don't sell Spindletop for at least 10 years. Give it 10 years to find oil. And in the 10th year, boom.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how much apocryphal that is, but it's an interesting story.
Oh, I remember that when I first moved to Houston, I went to the Bayou Bend with some friends. They were having like a tea thing, and we went. I just fell in love with the place, but also the story of the family and just the connection to Houston. If you haven't been there, highly recommend. It's a gem.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And some of the pieces of furniture.
The furniture.
Amazing. You'll never, they're two in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it really, these pieces, and they're set in a house. So you really do feel like you are walking into the 1930s or the 1940s.
I got to go back. It's been a while. But I've
I've
been a couple of times, but I haven't been in a while.
It's the perfect time to go back. Speaking of the perfect time, is it the perfect time to hear about the weather out there?
You know what? It's going to be nice for into the weekend, today and tomorrow. Highs mid-70s, pleasant evenings, dry weather. So if you have any big events going on, and we'll talk about at the end of the show what we're all doing, but there are a lot of big events because of the year, of the season. And then we get this front overnight Saturday into Sunday. That brings in a windy Sunday. Not a lot of rain with it, but a windy Sunday, maybe a 20% chance for a shower.
I got to tie down my inflatables.
Absolutely. and your Charlie Brown Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And then this is going to pour the cool air, the Arctic air in here, so that we're only in the 55-degree range for a high on Sunday. And as we go toward Monday morning, we see freezing temperatures to the northeast of Houston, like 29, 30 up around Huntsville to Lake Livingston. And for the rest of us, right there in the low and mid-30s. So it's going to be our first big cold snap. It doesn't last long. We're back in the 70s by Wednesday, but it's going to be a big cold snap for Monday morning. Yep.
I'm looking forward to that.
Get ready.
Good to know. Coming up, we're also going to be talking about, at this time of the year, a lot of folks are thinking about the future, and so are Texas farmers and farmers across the country. We're going to be taking a look at what President Trump has recently announced, that $12 billion aid package for American farmers. What does it all really mean? But we've got more Donald Trump. He's in the news. Celeste.
Yes, President Donald Trump's administration has directed national parks to immediately remove items from their gift shops that are perceived as promoting programs including diversity, equity, and inclusion, also known as DEI. The Interior Department wrote in a memo last month that all National Park Services units had until December 19th to carry out a review of all retail items on sale and remove any that are deemed to run afoul of Trump's executive orders. In January, Trump signed an executive order titled Ending Radical and Wasteful Government DEI Programs and Preferencing. The memo did not specify the items that could no longer be sold, but said that items identified as non-compliant with the order must be removed from sales immediately. A lot to unpack. What are your thoughts? You can join us on Hello Houston by calling 713-440-8870.
I'm going to jump in here with, regardless of how you feel about ending DEI programs, if they are ending DEI programs, stop. Why do you have to retroactively go back and then remove things that are on shelves, find people to do this? All right, don't order new stuff that seems to be objectionable. the amount of manpower and work now to go back and review everything that are in your gift shops, which were not in there randomly to start with. Somebody curates these gift shops at national parks and museums and decides, what is appropriate, what isn't with what they're sharing and showing. So if it's on the shelves, let it sell out. Why do we keep, it just seems like insult to injury. And that's before you get even into the whole issue of whether or not we should be attacking DEI programs or even ending them. It's just the whole concept of more work when these kind of organizations already are hit hard for employees and work and finances. I don't know.
Well, it's a step backwards because you want to eradicate history and you want to rewrite it so that it favors your particular agenda. That's the reason to do it. No surprise either. The national parks have fee-free days where you go to the national parks for free. Well, on their calendar, they dropped MLK Day.
And Juneteenth.
But added Trump's birthday.
Flag Day.
Yeah, same as Flag Day, right? His birthday.
That's what they're saying.
But they're going to drop things like not just references to slavery, but also Native Americans, but even women's rights. And when women, struggled in the 1920s to get the right to vote, anything that they see as any kind of diversity, and I guess that means anything different than white Christians. I guess that's what that means. Have you ever thought about how are we supposed to define diversity and inclusion and
I
equity?
think there is a storybook folkloric version of American history that was agreed upon or readily accepted for many years. And as we learned more of our history or explored more or were allowed to share more of histories, that picture started to change. And I feel that the push is to get back to this idyllic idea for a certain group of people that want that folklore of who we are and where we came from as opposed to the reality of it.
We vote elected officials into office to move our country forward. And I understand no administration is perfect, but the bottom line, the commonality between wherever you fall on the political spectrum is that you would hope that the people that you are entrusting the well-being of our country, moving forward policy, that they're going to be thinking about the greater good. And again, the word and the mission is to move our country in the right direction, not go back and undo what you think is right or wrong, but to build on what is already there, tweak, continue to move forward. And I think what's concerning is that we are now seeing an administration that is setting a precedence for the future that says, oh, well, it's okay. We're going to come in here and we can just destroy or destruct or move back or, it doesn't matter because this is what I want or this is what the people put me in here. That to me is concerning that moving forward, there's going to be a new set of standards that it's okay to just be reckless.
And we didn't get here overnight. Where we are in America took a lot of time, a lot of thought, a lot of protesting, a lot of voting, as you say, voting people in, voting people out. We had abolitionists in the 1850s. They had their parades, and then the 1920s with women's voting. Then we went to the Civil Rights Act in 1960s. We went to gay rights and marriage in 2015. So where we got in 2025 has taken
a lot.
Decades. And it was okay. People said, okay, I want these people to have equal rights. I want to recognize this was not a great part of our history, and I want to move in a positive way from it. So we got here, and then in a matter of months, we're going to just forget like it ever happened.
Right.
Well, it's just terrible. You're absolutely right, Celeste.
This country great is our diverse of thought and our ability to come together.
That's what makes us great.
And sit at a table and say, although I might disagree with you, I'm still going to sit at the table and we're going to try to move forward legislation that benefits all Americans.
Well, it's interesting to me in a time when we are so concerned with crafting a history that certain people want it to be. On the other hand, people are buying at record numbers DNA kits to see where did their people come from, what were their stories, who are they really, all that. There is a thirst and a hunger for truth and knowledge. And it may not always fit in with what you thought it would be, but we're curious because we are who we are now. So why are we scared of where we came from? Why can't we be honest about the path that it took to get here, see the mistakes, the injustices, the problems, and how we got to who we are? Instead of saying, you know what, we don't like that. You know, Celeste, maybe you did your DNA and it showed you were from different people than you thought you were, and your family stories may not line up, so don't look at that. No, look, learn who you are as a people, as individuals, as a nation, and embrace that we have made it to this point and we can always do better. But I don't know. I'm very bothered by all this.
And I think the other point is that we've made it to this point with through generations and years of people suffering and having to fight for us to have the rights that we have today.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that was done for justice and done to move our country forward, to make us one of the most powerful countries in the world.
Well, because we have one of the most powerful constitutions ever written.
Yes.
But if you destroy it and you have the judges that will help you destroy it, then you're in a world of hurt.
And the Constitution, what we hope and what we're seeing is that our Constitution will be strong enough to withstand different interpretations and it being pushed to the limits of interpretation.
Right. And people not playing by the rules.
Yeah.
If you play by the rules and you follow the Constitution, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But when you start saying, you know what, I don't think I really have to follow that.
Well, you know, that's when you definitely know what we're thinking on this topic. We'd love to know what you think. 713-440-8870. Rick from Freeport is on the line. Rick, what do you think? Rick,
well, this is Rick from Houston. Is that maybe who you're after?
Well, okay, we'll talk to you too then.
It's odd you say that because I was actually born in Freeport. So, okay, a little...
We did your genealogy and we found it all out. We know everything here.
Oh, man. Well, okay. So I want to make this as friendly as I can, but I've been listening to you talking about, first of all, I agree with you, going back to the shops and taking the DEI stuff off the shelves. I think that, as you say, it's too far. Okay, but I do agree with generally winding down the promotion of DEI programs, and I'm going to push back on your characterization of it.
Okay.
At least nobody that I know who's interested in pushing back on all that is interested in rewriting history in any way. We have to look at all the history, warts and all, and I certainly don't know anybody who's promoting undoing anybody's rights for any reason. That was hard-fought stuff. We all thought the 60s was, the clarion call for a better future. All right, I don't think it went quite as well or as far as maybe we were hoping, but there's no question we're better off than we were. So I think all of that pushback on DEI is strictly focused on, you can't say that you got to promote people because of the color of their skin. You can't guarantee equality of outcome. The best you can do, and even that's hard, is to guarantee, or at least try to guarantee, equality of opportunity. And I probably said all I need to say. I'll shut up for a moment.
Rick, thank you for calling and sharing your point of view. Let's quickly jump to Lisa from Clear Lake. Lisa, what's on your mind?
Hi, yeah. Well, I couldn't help, as a former educator, especially in social studies, I couldn't help but just go to, there's a time and a place for things. And perhaps national park gift shops are not the time and the place for political posturing in any direction. Mm-hmm. Whenever when a family goes in, for example, or just an individual wanting to get away from all of the hubbub, the last thing they want to do is go in and, look for some mementos from an awesome trip, or vacation, and again, be hit in the face with political posturing. And, I do agree, sure, just let the stuff sell out and don't restock. But do we really need DEI initiatives in every facet? And, conversely, do we be opposing view everywhere we look?
Mm-hmm.
Can a gift shop just be a gift shop?
Lisa, thank you very much for calling and sharing.
Yes, and coming up on Hello Houston, we're going to talk with Russell Boening, president of the Texas Farm Bureau, about President Trump's recently announced $12 billion aid package for American farmers. This is News 87. Stay with us.
Houston Public Media exists to deepen your understanding and keep you informed. And guess what? Members like you have been hearing the call and responding. So thank you so much. Your gift is the final piece of the puzzle needed to secure our mission. So don't just listen to the difference, be part of the difference.
And that amazing support is why we can announce this huge news. Houston Public Media is now 100% funded by this community. That means we're turning to you, the listeners who rely on us every day to fuel our newsroom and sustain our mission.
You know, you've heard us say it, and now we see the proof. Houston Public Media is powered entirely by the people who rely on us, just like you. You know, Karen from the Woodlands, Werner from Houston, and Paul from Houston have all recently made their contributions to keep this essential local news thriving. And now guess what? It's your turn. Give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
And it's not too late, but the clock is ticking. This is your last live opportunity to be part of something truly important before the year wraps up. In just the last hour, 3 generous listeners have stepped up to fund a better informed Houston. So thank you to those 3, and we need you to join them. Your gift ensures this vital, independent public service is ready for whatever comes next in our community.
Become a sustaining member. $10, $20, $30 a month is an ongoing commitment of support will mean the world to those of us in Houston and to you and your family. Make this moment count and join the momentum. Imagine tuning in and getting exactly the information you need when you need it most. Do that right now. That's what Houston Public Media delivers every day. And when you give, you help someone else have that experience too. So give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or give us a call, 888-9090-887.
I'm Michael Schaefer. Hi, I'm Michael Schaefer. My partner Ellen and I have been proud supporters of public radio and TV for decades.
We really would be lost without our daily fix of unbiased national and local news, cultural programming, and great entertainment.
But with recent federal defunding, stations like Houston Public Media face real challenges.
Now's the time to step up.
Give now at houstonpublicmedia.org.
Thank you.
Learn about the world's ice by listening.
Oceanographers have been using sound for a long time to listen to what's going on in the ocean. But until like 20 years ago, nobody had ever thought to really look closely at what's going on at the terminus of a glacier.
That's on Science Friday from WNYC Studios.
Hanukkah is here. Celebrate with me, Murray Horwitz, and our beloved Susan Stamberg, whom we lost in October, with her readings of some of her favorite stories on Hanukkah lights. Since 1990, we've shared stories of the season from writers around the country, and this year, the stories still sound, to use Susan's favorite word, terrific!
Support comes from Blake Hillegeist Real Estate, independent commercial and residential real estate broker with over 30 years experience guiding clients through economic downturns, realty challenges, and everyday life situations. More at BlakeSellsHouston.com.
Support comes from the Welcome Group and Welcome Wilson Jr., President and CEO. With over 9 million square feet of manufacturing and industrial facilities and over 130 locations in Texas and the Southeast. More at WelcomeGroup.com.
And now back to Hello Houston. To comment on any of today's topics, call 713-440-8870 or email us at talk@hellohouston.org. Now back to Ernie Manous, Celeste Diaz Sherman, and Frank Billingsley.
Earlier this week, President Trump unveiled a $12 billion aid package for U.S. farmers aimed at offsetting the losses many have faced this year amid escalating trade tensions with several countries. But will this aid package be enough to support farmers dealing with deep financial losses and an industry already operating on razor-thin margins? To discuss, we welcome Russell Boening, president of the Texas Farm Bureau. Russell, welcome back to Hello Houston. If you'd like to join the conversation, call or text 713-440-8870. Russell, explain to us, I read that the $12 billion falls short by about $30 billion.
Well, good afternoon to you guys, and I appreciate the opportunity. And just one quick correction. I know it looks like Boening, but it's actually pronounced Boening. So just think of going to the Bay and enjoying a good day at the Bay. So, and it is actually Boening.
I love that because it's Boen, and I'm like, I never would have gotten Bayn out of Boen.
You're definitely not the first. So.
Russell.
Okay, Russell Boening.
Russell, thank you.
Thank you for being here, Russell Boening. So, okay, back to it.
I guess you started off with the hardest question of all, and you said, is it going to be enough? Really, number one, it's definitely a help. It's definitely going to help quite a bit. It's hard to say right now if it's going to be enough. But I don't want to act like that it's not appreciated or anything, because it is needed. It really is needed. So with that being said, we got to kind of see how the details play out. And you guys already know this. It's for row crops. The 12 billion. I think it's actually 11 billion for what we call traditional row crops, which would be corn, soybeans, grain sorghum, cotton, and then I think there's another billion that's going to be for specialty crops, which is where your vegetables and fruits fall in. So, go ahead. I'll stop right there.
If you could, take me back and help us understand the situation we are currently in. Because from years ago, my understanding was there was often programs that would pay farmers not to grow certain crops, and that there's always been this kind of relationship between the government and our farmers and how this worked. But then, as I understand, and we found a balance in there somehow, but then the tariff push then shifted things again, and we find ourselves in an uncomfortable situation right now for farmers. Can you help me understand the history of how we got where we are and what the problem is we're actually trying to fix?
Well, it's a complicated problem. I don't know if we can fix it in 15 minutes, but you pointed out several things. The tariffs recently have definitely drove up our input prices. Input prices were already high, commodity prices low, and that, when I say commodity, I'm talking about the crops I just named a minute ago. And so with all that being said, the tariffs have forced up fertilizer prices, seed prices, crop protection prices, and those type of things. So yeah, and you're right. Years ago, we had set-aside programs. You set aside 10% of your acres. But we went away from that about 25, 30 years ago, which is a good thing. I mean, the American agriculture is it's a huge engine. It's a great industry, not only to feed ourselves, but to feed help feed the rest of the world. So those set-aside programs went away. So then you get into a situation where, okay, why does the farmer need this? Let's just say, okay, if you can't make it, you go find something else to do. I don't think that's good not only not good for the industry, I don't think it's good for our economy, and I don't think it's good for food security. So again, it gets to, we hit a point where input prices have gone up. I mean, you guys talked about inflation. I know you have on your show. And I was just listening to RFD TV a few minutes ago, and really the inflation factor has really hit. I mean, transportation costs have gone up. And I look around and I see, energy prices, gas and diesel have actually moderated. I've seen some prices come down, but I haven't seen transportation costs come down. And I know there's a lot of other things that are figured in transportation other than fuel. But anyway, like I said, it gets to be a pretty complicated situation.
Well, Mr. Boening, let me ask you this, and I don't know much about it, to be honest, but I know that when the avian flu hit the chicken farmers, the price of eggs went sky high. So if the costs associated with soybeans and corn and cotton and rice, et cetera, if those prices go sky high, thankfully, but why do you not pass those on to the consumer? and where we could complain to our politicians and say, we can't afford $4 an ear for corn.
Just in a simple way to put it, agriculture is all commodities are price takers, not price makers. It's just, I guess, because of the size of the industry, the number of producers. One of our presidents said, I think it was Eisenhower, and hopefully I'm right here. He said the farmer's the only one that says, tell me what you want for it when I'm buying something, and then tell me what you'll give me for it when I'm selling something. And so we're price takers. We can't control the price. And there's a lot of things that figure into that. I mean, not to get too far down in the weeds, but I mean, we import beef. And you guys have watched that story lately. We import beef from Australia. We import beef from Argentina, Brazil. The list goes on, which is okay because some of the product that we import from them is actually something that we need to mix with our product. So again, we can't just say, I can't say tomorrow, well, I'm getting $4 a bushel for my corn, but I actually need $5.50 a bushel. I can't do that. It doesn't work.
Mr. Boening, I want to go back to something that you mentioned, the $11 billion for row crops and then the $1 billion for specialty crops like fruits and nuts. Is designed to offset the financial pressures, like you mentioned, that were increased by tariffs from China, which you mentioned were from the fertilizers or being imposed on the fertilizers. But the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which includes $60 billion in farm investments, will take effect next fall. So do you feel that the Trump administration is actually making the right decisions to support farmers?
That is an excellent point, Celeste, because there are some really good things for agriculture in the One Big Beautiful Bill. There really is. But your next great point was they don't take effect till next year. And really, none of it really hits us until October of 26. And you guys live in the southern part of this country. We have farmers that are going to will be planting their 26 crop in about 1 month in the Rio Grande Valley. Mm-hmm. They usually start around the 15th or 20th of January. And folks around Victoria, 3 weeks after that. So y'all know. So again, yes, that's really why this aid package was so important. We think there's a lot of good things in the One Big Beautiful Bill, and we think they're going to help agriculture. Again,
but is it enough?
Well, I'm going to be honest, and I don't want to just sit on the fence on this one, but I really don't know if it's going to be enough. You got to wait and see how it's going to be distributed. How much is going to soybeans, how much is going to cotton, and really, what do the prices do as we move into next year?
Right.
If we get this aid package, prices improve. Let's just say futures prices improve and you can start contracting your crop, then yes, quite honestly, maybe it will be enough. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to sit here, because if I say for sure to be enough, I'll be on your program 9 months from now, and you're going to say, hey, back in December. So, yeah. But again, it is appreciated, and it's something this administration has worked on for a couple of months now.
So hopefully the $12 billion will tide you over until you get the $60 billion. It's basically what you're saying.
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Explain this to me then. When we then bring in and fold into all of this, the increase in prices that are happening, the word is escaping me right now. And I'm wondering, would that have been a problem regardless, or was this something that was exacerbated by the Trump trade policies that are going out there? Is that what pushed us to this point? And if it had been left alone, would the market have moved forward naturally?
That I think there's a couple of things I need to point out there, and we we lost our trade. Our trade is so important in agriculture. Let's just start there. And it's different crops that rely on it more. Soybeans, 50% of the soybeans raised in this country are exported. Cotton, I think it's around 75 or 80%, but I won't be off too much there. So those exports are so important. We have lost some of those exports, and yes, some of it happened because of the tariffs, but Trump used those tariffs to get some of these countries' attention. And tariffs are something that we don't love, but we understand that maybe that's the way this administration feels like they have to get people's attention. But I'll go back, and I don't want to be too political here, but the previous administration did not push ag exports especially, and I really don't think they pushed a whole lot of trade. But I'm going to just focus on ag trade because that's what I'm familiar with. But so we lost some ag trade over the years. Again, back to my first point. Mm-hmm. Those exports are so important. We have to compete. We have to compete with Brazil when it comes to exports. I'll share a quick figure with you just because I learned this 3 weeks ago, and I don't want to get too far in, but this one really. So the cotton production in this country is 12 to 14 billion bales per year. So and this is easy math, 12 to 14 billion bales. The American consumer uses 20 billion bales yearly in blue jeans, bed sheets, our undergarments. You can go on and on, okay? We use 20 billion. Of that 20 billion, only 4 billion is U.S. cotton. Mm-hmm. So think about it. We produce 12 to 14 billion, and only a third of it, a third of that is used in what the American consumer. So what does that tell you? That tells you Brazil is exporting, and I'm picking on Brazil because they're the big guy. Somebody else is exporting cotton to China and Southeast Asia, and it's coming back in products for us. Mm-hmm. We need to get more of our U.S. cotton, even if it's exported, coming back in shirts, bed sheets, and whatever else we use cotton for. So I'm just saying, trade is so important, and that's really the message we have taken to the administration. We totally appreciate the aid package. But guys, I want to tell you, farmers and ranchers, we don't want to go to D.C. and ask for a bridge payment.
Right.
We want to be able to sell our product at a profit, and whether that's domestically or whether that's internationally.
Right. Mr. Boening, it's interesting. As you were talking about the agriculture industry, I'm curious, has the aggressive immigration policy had an effect on your agricultural industry?
That I've done a couple of interviews on that as well, Celeste, and the president started off with well, we're gonna get rid of the bad guys, and we know there's some here. Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, so we heard that. We appreciate that. We understand we have to have a secure border. I mean, our organization, whether it's Texas Farm Bureau, whether it's American Farm Bureau, we're in favor of a secure border, but we also have to work on a good guest worker program. Right. The H-2A program is good. It needs some improvement, but it only really works for specialty crops, or I should say seasonal workers. Mm-hmm. So you have another aspect of agriculture that doesn't use H-2A. So, we've heard of some raids on farms and ranches. From what we're hearing, it's not widespread. So again, we know that there's a fairly large percentage of ag workers that are undocumented. I mean, that's been tried. That's no secret. Again, how do we fix that problem? We have a secure border. It looks more secure than it did a year or two ago. Mm-hmm. So we have that. So let's move forward with a good. So really, I guess the list. We haven't seen a big impact from the raids, but really we need to move forward and work on a better guest worker program. I mean, we have folks working in agriculture. Yes, they have documentation, but quite frankly, we understand that a lot of that documentation could not be legit.
Yeah.
All right. Russell Boening is the president of the Texas Farm Bureau. Russell, thank you for joining us today on Hello Houston. Coming up,
you guys.
Yep.
Thanks.
Coming up, we're going to talk about our last minute plans. Stay with us as Hello Houston continues.
What you just heard is an example of why free press matters, and it's your support that makes it all possible. Houston Public Media brings you fact-based, independent journalism, and it's all supported by our community. So please give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-9090-887.
You're paying it forward for someone you may never meet, perhaps a neighbor in the Heights, a family member in Katy, or a student downtown, someone who counts on this essential news. It's a simple act, but it goes so far. That's the extraordinary power of paying it forward. Give to something that matters and receive a possible tax benefit while you're at it. Support public media at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or give us a call, 888-909-0887.
You know, we often ask for these gifts, and when we do, you think about the small amounts that we're asking for, $10 or $20 a month, maybe as a sustainer, maybe a $60 one-time month. But there are those of us in our community who can do more. And we ask you to think about either joining our Studio Society at $1,200 a year, that could be $100 a month as a sustainer, or up to the Affinity Council, which are gifts of $5,000 or more. If you're in the situation to be able to do that and you would like to, please do it right now. Give today at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate. These are transformative gifts that can change the way we do the work we do and ensure that we continue to do it for the future. You can also call us at 888-909-0887.
Houston Public Media is free to everyone, but it is not free to produce. That's why your support matters so much. And when you give for someone else, someone who counts on this reporting but can't give today, you're creating something powerful. You're keeping facts accessible, keeping voices heard, and keeping local news strong for all of us. Your gift does more than you know. Give today at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call us 888-909-0887.
You know, Houston Public Media doesn't just follow the big stories. We dig deeper into the local ones that maybe national news outlets overlook. And your support funds real journalism that serves Greater Houston. We have an entire newsroom of local journalists who cover these stories and share them with you day in and day out. So continue to fuel that kind of work. Give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
Your contribution helps fund the station's most trusted work and keeps public media accessible to all. You can ensure our strength and join the Studio Society or Affinity Council with a gift of $1,200 right now, or make a long-term commitment by becoming a sustainer for just $5 a month. Secure the station you rely on. Give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call us at 888-909-0887.
Just like your first cup of coffee, Houston Public Media is part of your morning routine. Also, like that first cup of coffee, they've gotten more expensive now. If you took that money and gave it as a gift to this station, we'd be doing pretty good. So what we need you to do is think about becoming a member right now. Any amount matters. Just go to houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or give us a call, 888-909-0887.
Next time on The Pulse.
It's not just your car. It's the one that brought your kids home from school, took you cross-country, held memories, laughter, even a few breakdowns. When it's time to let go, give your car a new purpose. Donate it and turn memories into meaningful support for this station. Plus, you'll enjoy free and easy pickup, potential tax benefits, and a simple donation process. Your gift supports the programs you and your family love. Donate today and help keep public media strong. Call or donate online.
Arts Hour from the BBC. With Australian actor Joel Edgerton on his film Train Dreams, Hollywood actor Sydney Sweeney on Christie, Indian-born author Salman Rushdie, and my conversation with Chinese-American director Bing Liu. That's all in the Arts Hour from the BBC.
This bird has flown. Take one.
In the fall of 1965, the Beatles spent a month creating the songs that would be released in the first week of December of that year as an album that would forever be thought of as one of their best.
I just love Rubber Soul, and I think I will till the day I'm gone.
Musicians, music writers, and Beatles fans offer a guided tour. Listen for Isn't It Good? The Beatles' Rubber Soul. Saturday evening at 7 on News 88.7.
Support comes from Discovery Green Conservancy, presenting Carols on the Green with Houston Grand Opera, December 13th at 7 p.m., hosted by Jorge Perotti, and open to the public. Details at discoverygreen.com. Support for Houston Public Media comes from listeners like you and from St. Luke's Health and the St. Luke's Foundation, supporting clinical excellence, compassionate care, and a healthier future for all. More at supportstlukes.org.
And now back to Hello Houston. To comment on any of today's topics, call 713-440-8870 or email us at talk@hellohouston.org. And now here's Ernie Manous, Celestia Sherman, and Frank Billingsley.
We made it.
We made it. The end of the week.
Last show of the week. Last segment of the show. Don't worry, we're back on Monday. Don't get too carried away. Don't think you can celebrate too much. We are coming back.
You have a full one, I know.
I do. You know what the funny thing is I noticed this weekend? If you just listen to our show, you'll know exactly what I'm doing on the weekend. So last night I went and saw White Christmas. They're going to be on the show on Monday. Tonight I'm going to see C.J. Emmons. He was here on the show a few days back. Tomorrow night I'm going to see Mama, I'm a Big Girl Now. Those three actresses were on yesterday. And then on Sunday night I'm going to the Houston Treasures dinner, which I get to go to with Frank Billingsley.
You will see me there. Yes, you will see me there for sure.
Just listen to the show. You'll know exactly what I'm doing.
But for those who are looking for things to do, on Saturday, the Smiley Center, Houston's opening. The Smiley Center Houston will officially open to the public for an event featuring family-friendly programming and cultural experiences. Guests will be able to explore the first 3 levels of the 150,000 square foot structure. And the event will also feature dance performances, live music, art installations, and more. We had the representative on.
Yeah,
and
it is a phenomenal building. If you haven't even driven by it, it is rather impressive.
Yes, and I think it's going to be one of those things. But you know what? We skipped Frank. Frank, what are you doing this weekend?
You too.
What are you doing?
Does anybody really care?
I do.
I do.
I mean,
do you not have?
You
I
signed
know
up
what
to
you're
be a
doing
host,
tonight.
so let's have it.
You know, okay.
I know what you're doing
I'm
tonight.
I'm gonna hang out. I'm going out tonight with Ernie. Actually.
Yes.
Are you going to go see the
C.J.
show?
Emmons. Yeah, she's coming too.
Well, he was
going
great
tonight.
when he was here.
He was fabulous.
I have a dinner to go to tonight that we committed to in September.
Oh, fun.
Because there a lot goes into it, and so the host just wanted to make sure we were for sure coming, and so we will be there. And then tomorrow we have a friend's 50th birthday. And so we're going to be celebrating her.
Happy birthday, 50th
It's actually
friend.
today. Angela's birthday is actually today. But tomorrow she's celebrating.
Oh,
so
that'll be nice.
Yeah, so we've got lots of Christmas and birthday celebrations. And then
love that.
Houston Treasures. And it's going to be, really, the Houston Treasures, you're going to be in a sweater and all bundled up because it's going to be cold Sunday night.
Well, I know what Celeste is doing tonight. I'm kidnapping her tonight. But what are you doing the rest of your weekend, Celeste?
You know, I think on Saturday we're just gonna be hanging out, doing lots of Christmas stuff with the kids at home, maybe decorating cookies, just hanging out. And I always say this every week. We get to the end of the show, and you guys always ask me, "What are you doing?" And I say, "I'm just gonna be hanging out." And then I go home, and I realize I have all these things that we have to do, and I think I'm just in denial. That really, on the show, what I really want to be doing for the rest of my weekend is doing nothing. But the reality of it is, I have a ton of things to do.
Well, I always say, I spend the whole first part of the week planning what I'm going to do on the weekend, and I spend the rest of the week trying to cancel all those plans because I want to make sure people want me around. But then, truthfully, I don't want to go out. I want to sit
I want
home.
you around. But you know what else?
Wait till it gets really cold. You're going to want to
wrap
bundle
up
up
the
around the
blanket,
fire.
Bundle up. Yeah.
All right. What else is going on? The Houston Symphony's got a big thing going on with the concert for kids at Jones Hall. They're going to be able to sing along to holiday favorites. There's going to be hot chocolate, arts and crafts, a petting zoo, and, of course, Santa will be there.
How do you have
Santa's everywhere.
How do you have a petting zoo?
Well,
in
it says an
symphony?
instrument. It says an instrument petting
Oh,
zoo.
an instrument petting zoo.
So
not
you get to
animals.
see a cello for the first time and say, hey, this is a cool instrument.
Celeste, what instruments are your kids in?
Piano.
Piano.
Right now, my kids are in piano. And, the instrument zoo, I've got to say, I've been to multiple events where they have it, and I love it because oftentimes as parents, we tell our kids, don't touch that, don't. And now,
don't break it, for
don't
God's
break
sake.
it. Don't, Philip is like strumming the guitar. But the kids do. They get to pick up the instruments and they get to strum the strings and hit the drums and play with instruments that usually their parents would say, don't touch.
Right.
So I actually love it. And if you haven't checked it out, be sure to check it out. Also, you know where else Santa's going to be at?
He's everywhere.
He's going to be at the Union Kitchens.
Yeah, all 5 locations.
Yeah, all 5 locations of the Union Kitchen locations will host a festive brunch with Santa, and guests will also be able to bring new unwrapped toys and essentials to donate to Casa Esperanza.
And don't forget, Hanukkah begins on Sunday.
Yeah,
13th at sundown and lasts for 8 days. Do you know this is sort of the second Hanukkah of the year? Because last year's actually went into
the
January.
new year.
And so January of this year had a little Hanukkah, and now we have a little more Hanukkah.
Went into our new year. Because the calendar is a little bit different over there.
There's lots of calendars out there. So go with the one that gets you a nice holiday.
So I think this is really cool. But the Tomball German Festival Christmas Market in Old Town Tomball. And, I was actually talking to Tiffany Taylor, and she's going to be going there this weekend. Tiffany, what are you excited to be checking out?
Hey guys, so I'm going with my husband and my parents, and it's going to be a lot of fun. My dad and I love German heritage. We are German, and so it's a free festival, which is going to be a lot of fun. They've got entertainment. There's a Stein holding competition. You might hear
cool
from me
is
on Monday
that?
if I do that. I have won one in the past, so we'll see if I can hold it down again.
I'm looking forward to hearing all about it. But you know what? I hate to break it to you guys.
Don't tell me.
We're done?
Our weekend is beginning?
We've run out of time on Hello Houston.
So
but we'll
glad
be
we had
back
this
again
time
on Monday.
together.
What's on Monday?
Yes, on Monday, we are going to be joined by ABC 13's Melanie Lawson.
I love her.
Just announced her retirement.
Big announcement coming out from an amazing career, and so
What
we're going
in
to
the
have
world
her
will she do?
on the air. But in the meantime, you can catch the best of Hello Houston Saturdays at 1 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. right here on News 88.7. Thank you so much for joining us this week for Hello Houston. Truly, you all are a part of our show every single day, and we're grateful for y'all.
Yep.
But in the meantime, have a great weekend.
When we talk here, we talk with you. We share with you. We learn from you. And if you're listening right now, we're asking you to help to keep our trusted and local programs strong in Greater Houston. All of this is possible because we are now, I should say, entirely supported by you. Make your gift right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
Last campaign. This is the last campaign of the year. Today is your moment to make a difference. And this is our last live fundraising campaign of the year. And so when you give now, you help ensure trusted local news stays strong through the end of the year and beyond. And we're counting on our listeners like you to take that final step and support what you value. So act now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
If you're still checking off your year-end to-do list, here's one you'll feel good about. Possibly a tax deduction by giving a gift of support to local news. Do it now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
Imagine Greater Houston without this station, without Ernie, Frank, and myself
Where
on
would we
Hello
be?
Houston.
That's unimaginable, Celeste.
It is.
It would
It
be
truly
goodbye
is.
NPR is what it would be.
Goodbye, Hello Houston. No, we are here and we are not going anywhere, Frank. And now imagine knowing your gift is the reason why someone else gets to hear it every single day, gets to listen to this trusted journalism coming to you every single day. That's the impact that you can make right now. So give houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
When decisions are being made about your school, your street, your city. You deserve to know what's happening, who's saying what, and what they're deciding on. Houston Public Media shares all of that with you. So support trusted local news at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or by giving us a call, 888-909-0887.
And this is the good news. It's not too late, but it will be soon. So this is your last live opportunity to be part of something important before the year wraps up. Your gift helps fund a better informed community. And that, again, I can't say it enough, is so powerful. And it ensures this service is ready for whatever comes next. We are here for you. So make this moment count for us. Support Houston Public Media now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
And you know what? It's the right season. Why not make that donation in the name of someone else? Give it as a gift. You can do it right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or by calling 888-909-0887.
Thanks for listening to Hello Houston. Join us every Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. to talk all things Houston. The Hello Houston production team includes Garrett Bowman, William Menjivar, Jen Altide, Todd Holslander, and Jim Kovacic. For the latest in local news, subscribe to the Hello Houston daily newsletter at houstonpublicmedia.org. Hello Houston is a production of Houston Public Media. The opinions expressed by the guests of this program are solely their own and do not represent the views of management, staff, or underwriters of Houston Public Media. This is News 88.7.